You follow? All right. Thank you.
And to you, good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, all right.
I can't believe it.
Well,
I can
obviously
believe
you
it.
can, yes.
Yes, it's a dream. It's a dream world.
It is. Physical reality is just another kind of dream.
It is, and I've been creating the most wonderful dreams lately in my life.
Thank you.
And my life is a testimony to your success. I just want to say that, and the ET success at this point. I've lost everything and gained it back, got it back, and more.
Oh, all right. That's a testimony to your success, not ours.
Thank you.
Our success is being ourselves. Your success is being yourself.
Well, your guidance.
All right. Thank you. We're happy to share.
It did. It works. It works. Right now.
We know it does.
It
although
really
none
works.
of you have to believe it.
Yeah, 13 is my. It's been my number since I was born.
Oh, all right.
Born Friday, February 13th, 1987.
All right. How exciting.
And it's been just a path that's guided me.
Of course.
That number.
Well, you are a path.
Thank you.
Remember, none of you are on a path. You are a path. You can't really be off yourself.
So I do have. I basically I'm kind of nervous now because this is literally a pinnacle leap in my life right here, being here at this time, at this moment. I've
Yes. What, isn't that
dreamt of
exciting?
this. It's very exciting.
Oh, all right. Then you don't have to be nervous.
I take people up for ET contact groups. I
Yes.
was told to do that, and I end up
All
moving.
right. Are you having fun?
Yes, a lot of fun.
All right.
It is my highest excitement.
All
that
right.
connection is my highest excitement.
That kind of what?
That connection, the connection
Yes.
between me and them, to
Yes.
sharing that with other people.
All right. And so?
And so I just, basically came here to share that with you. And
Thank you. It has been shared.
And you get to do that too. And it's really fun that I get to lift people up and empower them
Yes.
in their lives and show them that we're, how we can grow, how we can move, how we can
Yes.
flow.
But more precisely, our excitement is in sharing information that allows people to lift themselves up.
Exactly.
Because we don't lift anyone up. We can only lift ourselves up.
Yeah.
But others can choose to do so by choosing to match the vibration we give off of lifting ourselves up. And that's what's exciting to us.
So I moved to a place in Colorado.
Oh, all right.
From Denver. And when I got there, I was wondering why I ended up being in this random place in the middle of nowhere.
It's exciting.
It is very exciting.
And who knows what will happen in a place where you don't know what will happen.
So basically, I started channeling and connecting, and I've always been connected with ETs.
All right.
And I end up having visions.
Yes. Of what?
Of me in a past life, but parallel existing life.
Yes.
Holding one of the 13 crystal skulls.
Oh, all right.
On a ship.
Yes.
Kind of with an emotion of sadness.
All right.
At the time.
Yes.
And flying over the area where I live right now, or in that area.
Yes.
And I was just wondering if you could maybe give me some more correlation on that.
Well, you're connecting to the time when the skulls were separated. And so the experience you're having of sadness is the idea of recognizing that they needed to be separated and that it would take, in terms of time, a long time before they would be brought back together again.
Well, and then I asked the universe, send me synchronicities that show me the path I need to go for that focus of whatever this means to me. I try not to take it on as I am the holder of the 13th skull, because it was a past parallel life.
You tap into all sorts of different things as you need to. It's a dynamic thing. Remember that these are dynamic things. When people on your planet talk about what is my past life, this is dynamically changing all the time, because you're connecting to other things as you need to, and as you become a different person, you may need to connect to another life that coexists. So one moment you may say, well, you're connecting now to an ancient Egyptian person in that time frame you call ancient Egypt, that you are thinking is a past life because you need information from this person, because you're interpreting the connection from space-time perspective as a memory. Therefore, that's why you think it's your past life, as opposed to simply the life of someone living in Egypt parallel to you now. But nevertheless, all that aside, the idea is that you connect to whatever you need to at any given moment. And when you're a new person, you'll connect to different things. So next week, you may no longer have the connection to the ancient Egyptian person. So the idea of what is my past life is not fixed. It's constantly changing as you are. Dynamic, change. Remember, it's the fifth law. Everything changes except the laws. Yes. So even your relationship to other lives changes as you change. Yes?
Yes. So I end up 3 days later after that process of asking my higher self to send me synchronicity to guide me on the path that,
yes,
best suits that purpose.
Yes. And you end up?
And I ended up meeting this person who told me about a giant skull carved into the Grand Mesa where I live right next to.
All right.
And I went online, and it was the synchronicities just blow my mind.
That's what they're supposed to do. Quite literally.
So, and it's like literally 1/3 the size of the Grand Mesa.
Yes.
And so I started getting information to do contact groups up there. So I bring people up there.
All right.
And have you heard of the Shambhala?
Yes.
I was wondering if you might give me some more understanding of your interpretation of that.
It is an experience in a slightly altered dimension of physical reality that if you manage to shift your frequency to match it, you can begin to experience. It's a particular region or several regions that can appear on your planet that are representative of another reality, another version of physical reality that is more in alignment with your higher mind. Therefore, when you can match that frequency, sometimes you can have glimpses or even long extended visions of existing within the concept you call Shambhala. It's a slightly removed reality from yours. Just on a slightly different frequency, but just enough so that you will know that when you match that frequency, you've really shifted to something different. It's another example of a break in physical continuity that is specifically designed to let you know you have broken with your physical continuity and the mass consensus to a great degree. Does this make sense?
Yes, yeah, it definitely does.
All right.
That's beautiful. So a couple days before I came here, I laid out outside under the stars.
Yes.
And I always have ET contact through, just looking at the stars.
Yes.
And literally, I saw 20, 30 different stars. And then I said the same thing I just told you, that my life is literally a testimony to you guys being here and your guidance and your gracefulness, because it's really, it's helped me immensely.
All right. Well, all of you are a testimony to us being here too.
Well, then a giant bright light shined right on me before I could even actually bring the words out.
Yes.
You guys are just on it.
Yes.
Just so synchronistic.
There is much more going on than you are able to perceive. But when you perceive it, you suddenly realize how much is happening.
Yeah. It's very beautiful. Very beautiful. All right, I got some quick questions. Ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Mermaids, yes or no?
Longer answer than you may think.
Okay, darn.
There have been some genetic creations that would be similar to that in Atlantean times that may have given rise to some of those legends. In terms of them existing physically as a species on your Earth, no, but they are part of the nature world that again is a slightly altered, shifted vibrational reality to yours that sometimes overlaps in your reality, and therefore sometimes people who are sensitive to it can sometimes perceive those kinds of beings, but they don't exist in your normal physical reality.
All right. Dragons?
Similar idea. Again,
dragons.
They are beings that are of a higher dimensional level that you can interact with, but they exist between the planes of dimensions. They are never presenting themselves in your physical reality as the dragon that you think they do. They look quite different when they come into your reality. But the idea is that you perceive them in the way that you do when they're in their own natural state in between the dimensions. But they are higher levels of wisdom.
Megalodon.
Well, that exists. It's a giant shark.
Does it exist right now?
Several do.
Yes!
In the very depths of your oceans.
Awesome.
And a few other things you haven't found yet.
Oh, cool. Way cool. How about a hollow Earth?
No, not physically.
Okay.
Again, people that may have, without intending to, crossed through different dimensional vortices may find themselves in a reality that, because of their understanding of physical reality, they think actually physically is inside the Earth, when in fact they're no longer on the Earth anywhere at all.
Really?
So they just make the assumption when they come back through that particular portal that they've actually physically been inside the Earth, and they haven't. They've been somewhere else.
What can you tell me about Argentina, and that wouldn't jeopardize anything in such a way?
It's a lovely country.
Is it?
Maybe you should visit there.
Oh, no, sorry, Antarctica. Excuse me. I was thinking Argentina. Antarctica.
Well, that's a lovely country too.
All right.
But you might want to dress more warmly. What we can tell you is, yes, there are certain extraterrestrial bases there. Okay. And that's all we're going to say for now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, it looks like we're done with questioners. We do have a few minutes left.
Meaning?
Well, when you were talking before about other versions of yourself and the idea that you change your history every time you change yourself. Yes. Now, is that on the personality level that you're saying that? And what is it that makes a parallel version of you still you versus it being another person, like a past life connection that you're making?
Generally speaking, whatever you still recognize as being similar to you, as opposed to that which seems different enough that you don't recognize yourself anymore.
Okay, so what is, and can you be more precise about the difference between it's the personality that most of us perceive ourselves as being. Yes. And yet I think a lot of the information that you share reflects on the idea that at other levels of yourself.
Yes.
Obviously, you're indestructible.
Yes, yes, yes.
You can change your history instantly.
Well, you change your history even physically. Remember that what we're talking about includes your physical experience. It's not above it. It's not beyond it. It includes your physical experience.
Right.
So when we talk about changing your history, we are referring to something that is mostly a physical experience. Because on the higher levels, there really isn't a concept of history, since everything is perceived to exist more simultaneously.
Right. So if you have a version of yourself that's on an Earth that's peaceful, it doesn't have any war,
which
and things
all
like
of you
that.
probably do.
Right. And then you have another version of yourself that maybe is stuck in World War II kind of
which
environment.
many of you actually do.
Right. So each of those versions of yourself
Yes.
have different histories.
Exactly.
And it sort of reflects the idea that when you, the version of you that you're experiencing yourself to be now,
Yes.
changes a belief.
Yes.
You change your entire history at that moment.
Every change is a total change.
And so all the alternate versions of you are obviously doing the same thing.
They are.
And experiencing themselves as being the center of the
Yes,
universe.
exactly so. It's a holographic, multidimensional experience of all that is, seeing itself from all the different points of view that it can simultaneously, and all those points of view seeing themselves as the center of all that experience that they are having. Yes.
So is there an infinite number of versions of you,
Yes.
each person?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. But the perception that you have of yourself
Yes.
excludes all those other versions
Yes.
of yourself.
Otherwise, how could you experience that?
It's a lot to wrap your mind around sometimes.
It is. But again, remember, it goes hand in hand with what we have said about the idea that while you think you're only using 10% of your brain, you're actually using 100% to make it seem as if you're only using 10% of your brain. Therefore, you purposely block things out so that you can have a particular kind of experience that otherwise you couldn't have if all that information was flooding in.
So does that mean that all the different versions of you have different themes? Or some
Yes.
may, some may not?
Yes, yes. Well, some may be very similar, some may be very different. Again, any variation you can imagine is happening somewhere on some level.
So I think a lot of people feel like, oh, I'd like to be experiencing what that version of me is
If
experiencing.
it is relevant for you to experience that, then by acting on your highest excitement to the best of your ability with no insistence on a particular outcome, the relevancy will bring synchronicity into your life to give you your version of that experience.
Because each version of you has its own higher mind, right?
Absolutely.
And so each version of you is experiencing a specific theme that will determine what is relevant for you to experience and whether you're going to shift into a parallel reality where you're experiencing another version of yourself or what that other version is experiencing.
Correct. See how simple it is?
And it all comes down to need and not want, right?
It all comes down to what you need. Sometimes your wants and your needs may coincide, but the idea is that if you understand that what you need is actually what serves you best and is most aligned with your highest vibration, then you can allow yourself to want what you need.
Right, which comes back to the AAA
The
formula.
AAA technique. Yeah. Appreciation is key in this, but the first step is acknowledge what you have instead of what you don't have. Appreciate what you have in that moment and allow what needs to happen next to happen. Acknowledge, appreciate, allow. The AAA technique, again, no coincidence that in your culture, AAA is your sign of rescuing your vehicle from being stranded. So anytime you feel stranded, call on this AAA, take a moment, take a pause, acknowledge what you have instead of what you don't. Appreciate fully what you have at that moment and allow the next thing that needs to happen. And you will take yourself back to the 0 point moment. You will transform negativity into positive vibrational states, and you will begin to flow more easily and effortlessly through your life. So remember that technique. It is very powerful, transformative permission slip. And now, another very powerful, transformative permission slip is for all of you to go and have a wonderful lunch. We will resume this transmission after you have refreshed yourselves. Good day.